Life had not been kind to Emily, a young single mother struggling to raise her twin daughters, Lily and Rose, in a rundown neighborhood where every cracked wall and squeaky floorboard seemed to echo her exhaustion, and though she never let her little girl see the full depth of her pain, the late nights spent balancing two part-time jobs, the empty cupboards, and the landlord's constant threats of eviction weighed heavily on her spirit until one stormy night when the rain battered against the broken windows and her phone slipped from trembling fingers as she typed a desperate message meant for her best friend asking for help, admitting for the first time that she had nothing left to feed her children, that she felt like a failure as a mother, that she was terrified she might lose them if she couldn't hold her fragile world together, but instead of reaching her friend the message went to an unknown number, and she cursed herself for the mistake, tossing the phone aside and crying silently into the threadbare blanket that covered her girls as they slept with their stuffed toys clutched tightly in their little arms, unaware of the storm raging inside their mother's heart, and by morning she told herself to forget it, to push forward with courage she didn't feel, yet that very afternoon when the fog still hung low over the street and she stepped outside to collect the mail, she froze as a sleek black car pulled up in front of her broken-down porch and a tall man in a dark coat stepped out with a presence so commanding that even the neighbors peered from their windows in curiosity, and when he looked at her, his eyes filled not with pity but with a kind of quiet determination. She felt her breath catch, for he held up his phone and spoke in a deep voice that carried across the damp air, "Are you Emily? I got your message." And the world seemed to stop because this was no ordinary stranger but Daniel Crawford, a reclusive millionaire known for his sharp business mind and cold demeanor, the kind of man whose life was filled with power, wealth, and luxury far removed from her crumbling reality, yet here he stood on her porch like a character out of a dream. And while Emily's heart raced with fear and confusion, Lily tugged on her sweater asking who the man was, and little Rose pointed at him with innocent curiosity, clutching her orange fox toy, while Emily stammered that it must be some mistake, but Daniel only softened his gaze, showing her the message she had accidentally sent. Every word of her desperation lit up on the glowing screen, and shame burned her cheeks as she tried to explain it had been a mistake, that she hadn't meant to trouble him. But he only raised a hand gently and said he had come because sometimes mistakes lead us exactly where we need to be, words that unsettled her even more, and though pride made her want to shut the door, something in his steady gaze made her pause, because for the first time in years someone looked at her not with judgment but with understanding, and when the fog thickened around them and her daughters clung to her side, Emily realized that her story, her struggle, and her destiny had just shifted in a way she could never have imagined, as the millionaire who had everything stepped into the broken world of a woman who had nothing, and neither of their lives would ever be the same again.